How I beat my pornography addiction. This is a topic that's very widely discussed within the men's self-help YouTube space. Um, there are hundreds of thousands of videos on how to beat pornography, right? Stuff like, give me 12 minutes and you'll never watch porn again. That's one that I see a lot, right? And that's not what this video is. I do not think there is a set method. I think each man needs to find his way out of this pit on his own. What I want to share is my perspective and my testimony in the hopes that it may change your perspective on how to beat pornography. I want to offer just a fresh take on this, right? But I'm not going to make the claim that this video will help you or convince you to drop this pornography addiction. Okay. I hope it helps you. I do. But it is not going to be advertised as a surefire method to beat porn. Because I can't guarantee that. And what worked for me may not work for you. So, what are the prerequisites for this? Sorry about that. You need to believe in a higher power. That's step one. Okay. You need to believe in God. Why? Because God provides the objective moral framework for the world. Okay. If you do not believe in God, you essentially don't believe in morality. Morality becomes subjective. Okay. And God declares sexual expression outside of marriage to be wrong. And I expect if you're watching this video, you already do believe that. I don't think someone who is okay with a pornography addiction would be watching this video. And if you are that person, I can't help you. Real talk, I can't help you. You need to acknowledge that this is bad in the first place. Okay? So that's step one. You need to understand that pornography is wrong. Why is it wrong? Let's discuss that. The first divine institution established by God was marriage. And sex was a gift given to married couples, right? But only married couples. That's the only way it's supposed to be used, right? Pornography obviously spits in the face of that, right? So you need to believe in the divine institute of marriage. You need to believe that such a thing as sexual purity even exists, right? And you will probably get a lot of flack for this opinion. Ever since the sexual revolution, promiscuity has been viewed as fine. It's okay, right? If you're hooking up with random people, if you're watching pornography, doing all this stuff, right? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Satan won on that day, right? Because an entire culture was convinced that sex outside of marriage was okay. And it's not. It's meant to be within the confines of marriage exclusively, right? So you need to believe that it is wrong because it spits in the face of God's divine institution. If you need a more secular view on it, and this view still requires an objective moral framework, which in turn requires God. So I wouldn't say it's very secular, but it's more secular, right? It's the idea that a lot of the women in these pornography videos, right, and images probably aren't there by choice. Let's be honest. A lot of them are being trafficked. Okay. Now I don't know the inner workings of a site like Pornhub, right? But How are they able to give all that away for free? They're probably not paying their actors, okay? And I would imagine a lot of those women were probably trafficked. There's been an individual in the news recently, infamous. His name was Jeffrey Epstein. And I believe that there are a lot more Jeffrey Epsteins out there, especially in the pornography industry. Jeffrey Epstein was just the one who happened to get caught, okay? So when you watch porn, I want you to know that you are probably watching a trafficked individual who does not want to be there. And if that's the case, you're basically watching rape. And you're deriving pleasure from it. Kind of changes things, doesn't it? It definitely changed things for me. Um, with something like OnlyFans, a lot of people will say that those girls are there by choice, right? Because there's a good financial incentive. It's still wrong. That woman does not belong to you. Let's just be real. And I actually think a lot of OnlyFans girls are probably being coerced by some of their managers. I'm going to be honest. A lot of them have managers. So I wanted to share that, right? So there are reasons why it's wrong. If you want just a baseline like reason to quit pornography that removes all moral quandaries or conundrums, I don't know why you want that, but know that it is actually messing with your brain. Okay. Dr. Andrew Huberman has a lot of videos and material on this, but it actually like messes with your head. So if that's not a reason to quit, I don't know what is. So how did I come to beat this? I have been almost a year free. March 15th will be the big day where I hit 365 days, but I wanted to get this video out now because pornography, I believe, is the most existential threat facing men today. I really do think that. Um, so, yeah, I just wanted to get this video out here. So, I have almost reached a year of being completely clean. I'm very proud of that. I'm not gonna lie because that was a struggle. The funny part was it was actually easier. It wasn't easy, but it was easier than I ever imagined. Right, beating lust, getting rid of pornography. It is easier than you think it is. It's not easy, but it is easier than you think it is. You've built it into a mountain in your mind, right? It is overcomable. Okay, I am proof of that. So how did I achieve this? For some men, um, they find their release from this temptation through spirituality, through the Bible, through God, through prayer. Um, and those are all well and good, right? And I did try that. It didn't really work for me, unfortunately. I wish the way that I'd beaten it was that selfless and that good. Wasn't really. Lust and the desire for pornography is a very selfish desire. So I replaced the selfish desire with another selfish desire. Kind of selfish. Let me explain. I've had chats with other guys, right, who wish to beat, pornography. And they always ask me how I did it. And what I always ask them is, what does your paradise look like? If you could achieve your perfect life, is pornography part of that? If your answer is yes, I can't help you. And you're not beyond saving, but you need to get your head on straight. Okay. So, what is my paradise? I want to get married and raise a family. In my previous video, right, I discussed, the girl that I met, right? and how that I date to marry, right? And that comes from this desire. I want nothing more than to get married to a beautiful woman, a beautiful, good, godly woman, and raise a great family. Now, that's very difficult to achieve in today's modern landscape in America. It's very expensive to try and do that. I haven't pulled it off, but I have solutions and ways to get around that. I might discuss those later, but they're not relevant to this video currently. So if that's what I want, right? One of the things I realized was that no woman worth having is going to be okay with my behavior. Let me repeat that. No woman worth having is going to be okay with you having a pornography addiction. And I've heard countless stories of marriages ruined by men who continue to look at pornography in secret, right? Too many stories of that. And I knew for a fact that pornography would ruin any relationship that God blessed me with, right? Because God will bless you with things and he will let you ruin them. That's a topic for another video. Be careful what you wish for. But that's not this video. So I knew that this temptation had to go. It just has to. It is fundamentally incompatible, right? And this dream is very achievable, right? But it is somewhat selfish. There are more selfish desires that you could have, right? Obviously. I think wanting a wife and kids, right, is a beautiful thing, but it is slightly selfish. So I discovered what my paradise was, what my ideal life looked like. I recognized pornography didn't fit in that, so I walked away from it. The key is to find something that you want more than the lust, more than the porn. That's the key. For me, anyway. I don't know what dreams you have, right? And I probably never will. We'll probably never meet in real life, but your perfect life is so achievable. And that's what this channel is for, more or less. It's to help guide you in that direction. But I think for a lot of men, their perfect life does not include pornography. Because they recognize it for what it is. It's a vice. It's meant to tear you down, keep you from achieving your fullest potential, right? Think of how many great men have been destroyed by lust, right? You have biblical examples like David and Bathsheba, Solomon and his wives, right? That did seem to run in the family. Now that I think about it, and you have examples of this today, right? Think of how many great politicians, well, great, but like wealthy, successful individuals who get ousted, right? And it becomes revealed to the public that they were doing a lot of real scummy sex stuff, right? Like P. Diddy, right? And I know the court found him not guilty. He's guilty, all right. But you like, isn't that weird? That like all these great people are held back by, and I'm not saying P. Diddy was great, but like in our, he's very wealthy, very successful. In many people's eyes, that makes him great. But he turned out to be a degenerate and a scumbag, right? Think of how many powerful individuals have been revealed to like be involved in that stuff, right? People that many would consider successful and who would idolize, right? And then you discover, oh, this guy was throwing, giant parties that were heinous, right? It's something to consider. Lust is the most common weapon that the enemy uses against us as men, right? And it's so common. I was watching a video by a creator named Shoe on Head. She was like on a subreddit where men were posting like embarrassing stories. And, it was kind of a jokey, silly video, but I noticed one common thread with all of these, like, pathetic, degenerate individuals, and that was pornography. Without fail, every guy on that subreddit had fallen prey to the sin of lust. And it was making them do some degenerate, heinous things, right? And if you're that guy, this video is for you, okay? You have to find something that you want more than the pornography. You have to believe that you can get that thing. And you have to be willing to work for it, okay? You have to be willing to work for it. This channel, in a way, will keep me accountable, right? Because I recognize that there will come a time, hopefully, where individuals will look up to me. If I am preaching a message of beating porn, getting rid of your lust, and I myself fail to do so, then I've failed, and you will have no right to listen to what I have to say. No right at all. So, this channel is the final nail in the coffin of my lustful tendencies. I can't be behaving like that anymore, okay? I have responsibilities now. The second I posted that channel, I have opened the door to me being a role model for a lot of people. I can't afford to be doing degenerate behavior anymore. I just can't. And, likewise, if I want to become a father and a husband, right, I can't be engaging in that. I just can't. I would never forgive myself if I allowed pornography to tear me and my wife apart and ruin our kids' lives. Because those kids are going to need me to be a good father. And if my sons see that I cannot control myself, what do you think they're going to learn? Hmm? Who do you think they're going to grow up to be? I'd like to break the generational curse of bad fathers. I can't do it single-handedly, but if I can get at least one man to become great, to become a good, righteous individual because of this YouTube channel, I'll have done what God put me on this earth to do. Straight up. So, in closing, you have to believe that pornography is wrong. You have to recognize that you have an addiction. And you need to try and find something that you want more than the pornography. And then you have to fight for it. It's a difficult road to walk, but it is easier than you think. You've built this addiction into a mountain that you think you can never overcome. You can overcome it. I'm proof of that. I was hooked on porn for 6 years. Pretty much all through my teenage years, right? No longer. And I know that there have been men who have been hooked even longer. And I want to help them as much as possible. But I can't guarantee results. I can't break this addiction for you. I wish I could. I was talking with a brother earlier, right? We were discussing he's been struggling with pornography, and I wish I could take it away from him. Because I've been through that struggle, and it is something I would wish on no one, right? But I can't take it away from him. He has to lock in, he has to decide for himself that he wants to beat this. So what are you going to choose today? What are you going to choose today? When you go to bed tonight, are you going to take your phone with you? Are you going to open up that web browser? You're going to type in the address for a website that you know is wrong? It's up to you. If you choose yes, you're not beyond saving, but I can't help you until you decide that you want this out of your life. I hope this video helped someone. It's not exactly light, happy, fun subject material, but have faith. You can overcome this. You can. I'll have plenty more videos on this topic coming down the pipeline, but we're reaching 20 minutes here. You can beat this. What will you choose? What will you choose?